about by making Cavill this guy again.
It's about sending a message. So, we will be reacting. Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerdman, and today I'm going to be reacting to the Batman. Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves has dropped a new deleted scene from the Batman, which was the Joker interrogation. I'm thinking this is really, really soon to be doing this, but he has dropped it. Hey Warren, what's up, bro? I'm gonna be offline. Just give me 1 second. I have to do something quick. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna be offline for 1 second.
No problem.
Did I drop at all?
A little, but it was like you froze, but now you're back.
Okay, cool. So anyway, yeah. So we're talking about Matt Reeves has just dropped this new. By the way, Warren, good to see you again, man. It's been ages.
Yeah.
What's been up? I hear you got some really cool job.
Yeah, the job's been pretty busy. Like today, he started on some start testing a different product. Has been, and I'm trying, make sure I do good because I want to get converted. So that's why you don't see me that much. But I'll try. As it gets easier, you'll start seeing me more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and did you get to see the Batman?
Yes, I did see the Batman.
What was your thoughts?
I don't see. It's the same thing I feel about other reincarnations of a character. I liked it for the fact that we got a different Batman, like a more detective use, less punchy, less brutish, and I liked it for that. I feel that it should have been probably cut off maybe 30 minutes. 3 hours would have been.
I don't think you could. I know what you're saying, but I just don't. I think that was the bare minimum. Apart from, funnily enough, this Joker scene that you could have done.
I mean,
because the story, if you took out any aspect, another scene wouldn't have worked in the film. So you would have had to take out that scene. Like for instance, you would have had to take out like a whole thread. Like you would have had to take out Alfred completely, you know.
For
instance, or you would have had to take out, Catwoman completely or something, because it was threaded through the story so that each part was integral to the next part. I don't see how you could have deleted 30 minutes. I think you could have deleted the Joker scene.
Sorry, I just cracked my elbow. So like the scene, like I could think of some scenes, like the scene where the first like 3 minutes you got the kid playing with his dad. We don't really need to see that. Like that's 3 minutes right there. Then when the commissioner starts talking, when he comes in for the first
cut that.
I mean, because you can show the after effects of the kid seeing the kid. I guess that was a prelude to the dad dying. I guess. I mean,
right. You can't cut that. That's the bit where, like, you've got the Riddler, scoping out the place. That would have, if it was just like the dad's there, because the film's a suspense film as well. It's a suspense thriller.
Yeah, it's a suspense detective thriller.
You had the whole bit. Like, that was such a great way to introduce the Riddler. I mean, it was one of the great Batman villain introductions, basically, where he's like in the back, like you can't. I don't think you could take that out. Otherwise, it would take out all the tension.
Well, fair. Okay, I guess a fair point, I guess, on that. But I felt that, like, and what else I was gonna say was outside of, because remember, this is my feelings. People need to stop this nonsense where you're comparing Christian Bale that came out like 2004 4 or I forgot the times, and
Mm.
no, just judge the Batman for the Batman. He's not gonna be
I,
Bale. He's not gonna be Keaton. He's not gonna be Clooney. He's not gonna be Kilmer. It's Pattinson.
right.
Pattinson, sorry, and that's my problem with sometimes. And I'm not.
So
I'm
you
not
mean
saying
that people are overrating him and saying he's better than all of them,
yeah,
or are you
or
saying
no,
that
more like
they're saying that Patterson is not their Batman or something like
yeah,
that?
it's not their Batman. And it's like it's supposed to be this Batman. This is for this time, like this era.
Hmm.
Like this is the direction. Like you can't recast Bale. You can't. I mean, you could. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, right? But he's not doing that. You can't
Hmm.
bring back Val Kilmer. Or, you know what I mean? Like just judge the movie for what it is. Not like, oh, it's not as good as the like Bane was better than Riddler. It's like, first of all, I'm
I think
glad we got
Riddler
it.
was better than Bane, to be honest,
Oh,
but that's
oh
just
yeah, of
me.
course. Yeah, that's what I mean. First of all, I like the Riddler. I like that they're going through their gallery, and I think they did the Riddler justice in this one compared to the Tim Burton one. But the
Hmm.
Tim Burton one wasn't that bad, personally. It was kind
It
of
wasn't
more
Tim Burton, by the way. It was Joel Schumacher that one.
Joe Schumacher. But that wasn't that bad for its time, considering the era, right?
Hmm.
But I felt that it was good. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I thought
Give me one.
again,
Give me one moment. Keep on going. Just give me one moment. I'll
yeah,
be
no
hearing
problem.
you, but just.
Yeah, so I like the Batman. I thought it was good. I think that I want to see what they do with um more of his villains. Like I would love to see a live action, say Clayface or Killer or like a Killer Croc young or like a Dunn or like Mr. Freeze, because Mr. Freeze is actually very important in Batman's history, um, which is why like to kind of segue to the review, I was like, we've done so many Jokers. Why not do? Imagine if you do a good Mister Freeze, people will want them coming back. If you do a good Two Face, people will want them coming back. Like I commend
I
Colin
don't know
Farrell.
why he had to. Yeah, yeah. Go on, go on. You
No, I was
commend
gonna say,
Colin Farrell.
yeah, I was just gonna say, Colin Farrell pulled off a different rendition of Penguin really well, I mean, Danny DeVito was good first time, but this Penguin's more modern, right? And that's good. So now we have a Penguin that's gonna start establishing himself.
Oh,
Um,
I really love this penguin quite a lot. I loved everything he. I kind of wish though that Falcone and Penguin had switched. Well, it wouldn't have worked. But I just wanted Penguin to be a little bit more sinister. Like Falcone
uh,
was sinister. He was a serial killer. This guy was killing chicks, bro. He was killing girls, bro. Strangled them and shit. He was low key a
well,
serial killer. And
well, we're gonna we're
I
gonna see
kind of
him.
like that.
Well, we're gonna see Penguin again in the HBO series. So
But he needs to get a little bit darker. Like I don't like him just as like some kind of comedy relief kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the Penguin. Like let's get him being a little bit more evil. But then you could go the other route of a kind of sympathetic villain kind of thing.
no, he's
I'm
gonna get
sure.
he's gonna get more evil. I think. I mean, he has to, right? Because people already look at him like he's hobbled and just Falcone's right hand. So I wouldn't be surprised if he starts making the.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
because there's
here's
a power vacuum.
yeah. Yeah, true. I was just going to answer to Pickle just quickly. The thing about this Pickle is because it's a suspense film. It's hard for me to know if those cutting back or two or three times really helped to add the suspense, right? Like that's my problem with it. I certainly can't see cutting out any segments of the movie, but I think you might be right that you could shorten the length of certain scenes. But again, when it's a suspense film, the tension is ratcheted up by that time in between. So I don't know how well that would have worked, but it's possible. Clooney should be brought back as Bruce
Stop
Wayne
that!
Batman.
Stop that!
Stop it. But what you were saying, what you were saying about the comparisons earlier was, something that was interesting to me. I mean, I don't mind people comparing across generations, but I think, like, for instance, Keaton gets it so hard these days, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Like, you have no idea. Like, you can't go back to a world where the only thing you'd ever seen of Batman was the Adam West show, and seeing Keaton bring that light to life, come to life like that. You're thinking of it in a post Nolan kind of, like kids these days, they're thinking about it in like this kind of like post Nolan kind of way, like and judging it from that, and it's just like you
No,
can't judge it.
no,
from
I'm
that.
not. That's why I said. That's why I
Not,
mentioned
not you, not
Kilmer
you,
too.
not you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's why you mentioned Kilmer too. What did you say about Kilmer? Remind me.
That's what I was mentioning. Like, because I believe right after Keaton there was Kilmer, and then it was Clooney, right? Because it was actually a different Batman each movie. The only
Yeah.
person they kept was Robin, the guy that plays Robin. They kept him.
Yeah.
But I mean, my thing is that Chillmonger had brought it up, like, about the box office sales. I think Warner Brothers DC is realizing that they kind of exhausted Batman, if that's the money they're racking in right now.
I don't think it. They had a really bad luck. I mean, a war started, then they got a release date in China, and then there was some big, like all the cinemas are closed down. I think they had some really bad luck. I think it's going to pick up speed. Like 600 million isn't bad at all for the budget, and they need to. And I
Right.
think once you get to the end of its run, it's going to have significantly more than 600 million.
Yeah, it's
It's
probably gonna.
unfortunate. It's
Probably hitting
unfortunate, and
800.
I don't think, to me, I think it's a deep shame that this movie, because it's got so much love poured into it. You can see that the filmmaker is really, engaged with the idea of Batman, and not just given us something that is generic and something that is obvious, right? They've actually
Right.
really engaged with the idea of Batman and really thought, well, what does this Batman mean to me, and what is this Batman character to me, and why, why would a cat, psychologically speaking, who would that person be who goes out at night and beats up criminals, even though they're a billionaire? He's really kind of thought it out quite constructively and interestingly. And it would be sad to me that films like that aren't, and filmmakers like that aren't encouraged. Rather all of this generic bullshit is encouraged. I'm sorry, it's like.
And this is my point that I brought up on, like, when I had discussions about, was like, if we, like, imagine, and this is just a hypothetical, right? We wouldn't have been privy to, say, this Batman if we got stuck with Snyder, which is why I keep telling people Snyder did his thing. We need to have other directors give different sort of
Right.
takes on these DC characters, because they can maybe explore it in a way that we haven't seen right now. And
I mean, I think Snyder takes a huge L, like in one aspect, just from this movie. Like, you can do a Batman like he was trying to do, where you deconstruct and you explore ideas with them and whatever, and they don't have to kill. They can actually follow the core principles of the character. Who would have thunk? You know, it's like it's just completely ridiculous. He takes Superman and he's like, oh, you know, because I'm putting him in a real world, I'm going to change his whole fucking personality, you know, because that's realistic. No, you idiot. What you do is if you're putting him in a more realistic kind of world, it makes it greater to emphasize the core of the character. And that's what Matt Reeves did. Put it in some kind of, it's not really very realistic, but you put it in some semi-realism kind of world. It's still very artificial. I like to think, Warren, by the way, that Gotham City in this world is in an alternate universe where the AIDS virus didn't happen in the 1980s. Therefore, the sex industry still remained rampant in New York City.
What? No,
In
please,
Times
no,
Square.
that was such a bad time. I had I was in like 5th grade when people would come in about how cocaine kids. You shouldn't be doing cocaine. I'm like, I'm 10. Why would I be doing cocaine at 10? Like I literally had like people coming in like for drug prevention. I'm like, what? Oh, and Cole said he needs to be. You can add him now.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. No, it was a bad time, but I'm just saying, like, actually, you know, the sex industry in like Times Square and stuff like that was
Oh
leading
yeah.
to like massive crime throughout the, you know, the city and whatever. So I was just saying, like, in my mind, Gotham City is just like the future New York that happened when because the AIDS crisis basically shut down the sex industry in the 80s. That's what
It
basically
did.
happened.
It did. It
But
was
anyway,
pretty bad.
so the point I was making was like you can do these kind of you know, like realistic worlds with superheroes and actually stick to the core of the character. Don't make, just because Superman or the Justice League are in like a more real world doesn't mean they have to kill. I don't know where he got this idea from. And it's so jarring in Superman when he just breaks some guy's fucking neck. And it's like, this movie's supposed to be about hope. Mr. Snyder, what are you doing? So I hope he looks at this and just, you know, takes this massive L for the bullshit he put DC fans through. You know, where
Yeah.
splitting them into factions over his dumb idea that, you know, Superman should fucking kill and Batman should be mowing down people with machine guns. It's just absolutely absurd. Just because I'm trying to stay realistic, guys. Fuck you. Anyway,
But I mean, in regards to the scene, okay, so in regard, my thing is, I thought the scene was good. I like how they kind of did. They kind of
do you mean
took
the
some.
scene of the Joker? We're going to react to it live now because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
really?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
let me shut up then.
So, by the way, just to say, I really didn't like Barry Keoghan. The small I saw of Barry Keoghan as the Joker, I fucking hated. I've seen some clips from him from something of a sacred cow. I'm not sure what it is, and everyone's saying
No,
like he's brilliant.
it's Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Killing of a sacred deer, and everyone's
Yeah,
saying
and if
he's
you watch
brilliant
that
in
and some of his other performances, honestly, you'll see like his acting chops and that he can play Joker. Now, I agree with you though, that small bit in the actual Batman film I wasn't a huge fan of.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, in this clip, he was a lot better though.
This clip was way better.
He wasn't like amazing or anything, but he was great.
Let me watch it first
perfectly.
before you talk about it. Let me, because I wanted to say about Barry Keoghan. Look, I get what you're saying, and I saw parts of a Killing of a Sacred Deer. But if you're going to go with Paul Dano, one of the most exciting actors in Hollywood today, as your first villain, as your main villain, I'm sorry, you just can't do Barry Keoghan as the Joker. To me, I mean, maybe this will change my mind. I'm not sure. but he is not as dynamic an actor. Are you going to tell me he is as dynamic an actor as Paul Dano?
Well, to be
No,
fair, but to be fair, Nerd Man,
I saw the scene. It was good in Killing of a Sacred Deer, but it ain't no fucking.
Yeah, but think about what like Ledger got for being cast as Joker. It's the same thing, right? And then now his death, rest in peace, propelled them higher. But I think if he was still alive, he'd still be considered.
Joker. I will say this: Joker's Corner. I mean, I like the clip actually. I actually like the it's an interesting portrayal. I like the clip overall. I can sort of see what you're saying. However, what I will say is like the type of Joker they made him in like the clip that they've shown that they're making him fits
Let's
really
talk
well
about it
with him.
after.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
It's
What
really
I'll
well
say
with.
before you play it is that the Joker they went with for this, like the design and everything, fits him as an actor really well. Even if you're not a fan of him as playing the Joker, the look and everything fits him well as the actor he is with his acting chops.
I agree with PK Entertainment. They've exhausted
The realism obsession is what hurts this DC universe so much. Exhausted by the Joker at this point. I don't think realism hurts the DC universe at all. I really think quite the opposite. I think it sets it apart. But I don't think it. Again, realism is like. I don't like that term. I don't like to think that the whole of the DC universe should be realistic. I think the whole of the universe, the DC universe, should be artistic, i.e., getting directors in who care about the characters, are willing to do the homework on the characters before they have their big ideas, not just come in like, oh, I'm going to change the fucking origin of the Flash or some bullshit like that, right? Like, let them care about their actual characters first. They do their homework and then give an original, unique spin on it. It doesn't have to be realistic. It could be, fucking super fantastical. It could be half animated as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, as long as you do it well, then that's fine. Like, I think people aren't, like, opposed to The Dark Knight, and, well, people who dislike it. I'm sure most people aren't because it's realistic. I can't say for Oldo, but mainly because they just don't think it's done well enough in a realistic manner.
Yeah, but films like Shazam, I mean, that was kind of, it was based in a real world, but it was still very comic booky and goofy, and heightened in some ways. So
I mean, do you think the Joker's overdone?
I have no problem. Look, the Joker, to me, that's other good question, and I'll let you finish on that, Warren, after.
Yes.
I don't think. I'm not excited for this. If he had introduced it and it knocked it out of the park, I'd still be excited to see the Joker again in a different iteration. But it kind of just feels to me like Joaquin Phoenix was the obvious answer in this, and that would have been a mind-blowing, end credits scene. Joaquin Phoenix is in this, fucking hell, boom, Robert Pat for Joaquin Phoenix Joker. So it just didn't do anything for me. The excitement wasn't there that this guy was in this. And yeah, I would have, if not Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, then I would have much, much preferred them take another character from Batman's, I don't know.
Which one would you have gone with?
Oh, I got an easy one.
Maybe Scarecrow or...
Well, that's who I would have gone with, Scarecrow. But I would have gender swapped Scarecrow. I think that can work well.
I would have gone with Two-Face. He's a good Two-Face can really capture because I feel like you have.
Then you want to do the origin of. You'd probably want to do the origin of your own Two-Face now.
Yeah. Well, they still have Penguin, so I think that's why they still have like a mafia type guy. So.
I mean, a good Black Mask could work as well.
Maybe one day we'll get Clayface.
I personally believe.
I'm trying to think about it in relation to this story. Who could have
to this story?
With this scene, here, for instance, who could the Batman have gone to to try and get into the psychology of the Riddler, and also set up as a villain in future. And I really can't think of anyone apart from Scarecrow. I mean, like,
you could. I mean,
who else would fit that?
I remember when this movie was first being talked about. The rumor was that the script was like that Batman was going to be interviewing a bunch of villains throughout the story from Arkham Asylum, like trying to figure out the mentality of the killer, or if maybe one of them was the person doing it, and then it was going to end up being the Riddler. So it sounds like Matt Reeves kept some of those early ideas around for this scene. I hated it, by the way, Nerdman.
Okay, let's watch it. Let's
I didn't love it, but I kind of liked it.
Let's stop fondling each other's balls and let's just watch.
Definitely didn't blow me away though.
Let's hear. I hope they don't cut me off for this.
Present. Almost our anniversary, isn't it?
It's already too much like Heath Ledger for me. It's way too much like Heath Ledger.
I brought that up earlier to Pickle.
Let me hear what he's saying.
Why makes you think I'm so cheap? I thought you
It's like literally Heath Ledger. He's doing the same fucking voice.
think I could offer this stuff, don't you? You have pictures.
The laugh is all right. The laugh isn't bad.
It's violence. It's so baroque. Oh. He likes little puzzles, doesn't he? So meticulous. Like he's been planning this his whole life. I know who he is. Oh. Who is he? He's a nobody. Wants to be somebody. The mayor, the commissioner.
Dude, this is fucking. It's a really good scene. It's really well written. Barry Keoghan, why are you doing a fucking Heath Ledger impression?
Yeah, I
Come
think
up
it's
with your own
different
Joker,
enough
bro.
from Heath Ledger.
it's different.
No, it
enough.
isn't. It's the same fucking voice. Are you kidding?
I disagree.
I disagree.
I said-
That's actually how he is as an
I
actor.
think
in
it-
most
Nerdman,
films.
Nerdman,
I'm gonna
Nerdman.
put this
I
voice
said the
back to
same
back.
fucking thing, bro.
Nerdman,
I swear to God, it's the same.
I think he differentiates the voice enough though. Like
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with
Because-
that.
because with Heath Ledger, right? It was remember
Dude, I'm
the
playing a
like
Heath Ledger
for him
scene
for
right
for
now.
when
Finish the
Heath
clip.
Ledger was
Go on.
doing the voice. When Heath Ledger was doing the voice, right? He was like smacking his lips and licking his lips, like he was doing all that to help out the voice.
Mhm.
Barry's not really doing that. Like he's
Yeah,
just,
he has a way
he may
different
sound like
facial
it.
expression. and everything. It's
Dude,
different.
I know you
I think
guys
he's-
dig. I know you guys like.
And if he sounds like Heath Ledger's Joker, I think that's a good thing, though. If he does sound like Heath Ledger's Joker, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, okay, listen, I
I
do
think
agree,
it's
Nerman. There are similarities, but it's different enough, in my opinion, and with the facial expressions. And also, if you watch all of his films, that actually is just how he is in most films. Like, his accent and his facial expressions.
No, I get
That's
it,
how he
but,
kind of
like,
plays those characters.
Finish the clip.
But dude, yeah, no, I will finish the clip. I just wanted to pause it anyway, but just in case it's
I mean, I'm after watching this multiple times, I
Okay,
kind of
okay.
wish it was in there.
K Dots, can you bring up the scene of Heath Ledger's Joker for me? So that I don't have
I'm on my
to
phone.
switch between
I'm on my phone. I can't even bring it up. I'm on my phone.
anyone can bring up just a scene of Heath Ledger's Joker,
Yeah,
so I don't have to switch
yeah, I can.
between scenes. Just quickly while I'm doing this, like,
Yeah,
I'll
bring up
finish
the
scene,
interrogation scene with Heath.
yeah, something like that. Quick, but it's not that I don't think it's bad. I mean, it's a really good impression of Heath Ledger, but it's a fucking impression of Heath Ledger. Like it.
I got it.
I would have thought Barry would have thought of something a little bit different, like, because this really does seem now like this Batman is like
I mean,
film
Nerman, I'd rather he
student's
play it
impression
safe.
of-
Nerman, I'd rather he play it safe instead of do Jared Leto.
He really isn't doing a Heath Ledger impression, though.
He's not
All
like
right, let-
it's a
That
different.
really is his characters in most films. When he plays those creepy characters, that's how he is. Exactly that.
Well, that's not my problem. I'm just saying it sounds exactly like fucking Heath Ledger.
I think it's
I mean-
different enough, though.
We'll play it back to back. You'll see like the
Okay.
voice.
I get what you're saying, especially that like fucking voice he does.
Yeah, I like the laugh he did though, man. The laugh is cool, and I love the scene, the dialogue, the what he's actually saying is like it really does seem like a serial killer, being interviewed. So it's kind of interesting.
You think it's more?
Yeah, just like Riddler.
This is very, very personal. He feels these people have all wronged him. Probably goes way back.
He even did the lip thing just then.
Unhealed wounds, stolen much money. Why is he writing to me? He's a fan of yours? Maybe he's got
Nerman,
a grudge against
could you
himself.
pause it real quick? Because I do want to comment real quick on something.
Maybe you're being cool.
So this is
Yeah.
the reason why I was okay with them taking it out, because Joker literally spells out
gave it.
his motivation for him. He literally just
Yeah.
gave away everything. Like
Yeah.
Joker's right, and I think that would have took away from Batman trying to figure out himself the motivation.
No, it makes sense. Definitely. After he
Yeah,
just
I'm
said
okay with
that,
him taking it out.
that would have ruined the movie. That literally would
I
have been like,
agree.
oh, so is it? So I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
as
it
well.
literally would have ruined the movie if Joker just spelled out everything.
Yeah. All right, let me play it. Let me play again. It's getting better. I'm getting used to it, and it's definitely not bad. But I think the design also kind of reminds me a little bit of like, let's do Heath Ledger, but go a little bit further. It's like
I can
It's not
comment
very
after the
original.
video. I'll comment after the video about this.
Okay.
Any theories? Not yet. Really? You're normally so ahead of the curve.
I like his laugh. His laugh is good.
But something is different this time. This is very upsetting to you. Let's get back to him. Why? You are so much more fun. I'm not here to talk about me. What are you here to talk about? I want to know how he thinks. You know exactly how he thinks. Have you read this file? You two have so much in common. Masked Avengers. So he's even more right. Oh, you're afraid he makes you look soft. You're wasting my time. I'll tell you what I really think. I think You don't really care about his motives, whether he loves or hates you. I think somewhere deep down, you're just terrified. Because you're not sure he's wrong, huh? You think they deserved it, huh? You think they deserved it.
It's not a terrible scene. It's actually a pretty good scene. I like the little touches of like the serial killer moments where it's like, you know, do you have any pictures? You know, like typical serial killers would do. Like, you know, wanting to see the pictures of the crime scene to get off on it, and like the psychology of it all. It's a very, like the rest of the film, intelligent, well constructed scene. I just don't like. Maybe it's just too soon for the Joker. Maybe that's what it is.
That's
but
exactly what
don't-
I'm saying. That's what I was gonna say. Like I thought the scene. I think the scene differentiates a bit, and I agree with K-Dot's. Why stay with something safe, but you can make it different. That's safe to go with that kind of Joker look. I was gonna
Yeah.
say if you look at the Arkham games, they kind of took some inspirations from that too, because his hair is kind of like the Arkham Joker. If you look at how he
Mhm.
looks, very veiny, is not like veiny as in strong, but like worn out. I think they got inspiration from the Batman Rockstar. I forgot the company, but I think they got inspiration from that as well. For that,
I do like the way he breaks into his laugh, like very differently. He doesn't. He kind of like laughs the whole way through him talking almost, or like at little bits he's just laughing as he's talking. I do like that. I don't know. I'll have to like look at it again, but
but
I'm more impressed by what he did here than what he did in the movie. Like that scene between him and Riddler, I think was awful, to be honest. This was much nicer.
I was gonna say I think you could have used the reason why I'm like championing for Mr. Freeze is because he, if you know his character, he cares about Nora and he's gonna do anything, and he feels like he's been wronged, and Freeze kills a lot of people too. So I could have seen him going to a cell with Victor Freeze and asking like, what makes you do what you do? Because I think Mr. Freeze is important in the Batman Rogues. People don't want to admit that, but
No, but I think you need to tell the whole thing of Victor Freeze. I don't think he should be in Arkham yet. I think Mr. Freeze should be somebody who you could do. I mean, you could do, but you want to.
Well, unless he talks to Hugo Strange, because Hugo Strange would be there.
Yeah. Hugo Strange is someone I want to see in this series, definitely.
He could have, because if this is year 2, he could easily have spoke to Hugo Strange.
Elitist. Did anyone pull up a Joker scene for me? No one pulled up the Joker for me.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, guys.
I mean, I was saying,
What was your question?
Did anyone pull up Heath Ledger's Joker for me? But
Yeah, he put it in the private chat.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean.
Oh, yeah, I have it. If you want me to
Well, what I'll say is, whether you like it or not, I think, like, for the actor Barry Keoghan, it fits him well, this Joker, like, appearance and everything.
If you want to share my screen, I can.
No, maybe he should have been in Heath, like in The Dark Knight, but like he's.
I think they made the wrong call, dude.
What don't you like about some scene?
I don't like the performance. That's the only thing. Everything else is fine. I think the performance is hack, dude.
You can share it, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best.
For what reason?
Like, decision.
I think his voice is derivative of Heath Ledger's. Maybe not a straight on copy, but derivative. I think the stuff that's different about it is all physical appearances, like makeup and stuff. His performance brings nothing. There's nothing to get excited about.
So I'm going to play the voice here. Let's just listen to this voice very quickly.
Really? You're normally so ahead of the curve.
That's the most different he does.
But something is different this time. This is
All right. And then
You want me to
we're
play?
gonna pull up. Yeah, we're gonna pull up the Dark Knight.
Just tell me when to hit play.
And can I just say it's especially disappointing
Right.
considering Joaquin Phoenix has already played Joker, and we could just make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is a really unique take on Joker.
Schedule's too busy, and he lost a lot of weight to do that role. I don't think he wants to keep doing that.
All right, you want me to
He
play?
can he can have a weight now. That was him getting over being he's now the Joker, so he doesn't need to lose weight anymore. That was the character journey he was taking. Okay, yeah, play. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I'm playing it.
Put it to a bit where he's talking.
I was right here. Who did you leave him with?
Right?
Assuming, of course, that they are still your people.
Okay, you can pause. Hear that? Now listen to this. It's so derivative. It's it's exactly what he's saying. It's literally derivative.
present. Almost our anniversary, isn't it? There's a serial killer.
It's just it's like Joker said. It's a slowed down, more airy version of Heath Ledger. To me, I hear I don't know. I thought he would have done something different, and it doesn't look like Matt Reeves was saying he was going to do it like The Man Who Laughs. I liked the smile, but it was not like The Man Who Laughs. I thought it would be more like that, and I thought that would be.
I wish they went more in that route, but.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up an image of, and I think this is what they were kind of going for.
Yeah, pull it up. But do you think, guys? By the way, do you think that he's got acid poured on his face? Because it looks like he's got acid or something poured on his face.
It's something like that.
Yeah, he got burned. Those are burn marks. He got boils on his hands. His nails are like gone. So it looks like all his injuries are very recent. So he got burned.
That would be
If
cool.
you look at the side of his head, he got boils on the side of his head. Some of his hair is gone. He got burned by some acid or a fire, but I think that was acid.
I hope it's acid, because that would be a cool way to at least bring that into it. Except you can hear he's not whispering. Ledger captures not only his personality perfectly, but he also captures what the animated series did well, which is his voice constantly going up and down in pitch to match his unpredictability. Timeline-wise, Phoenix Joker being here wouldn't work. Wouldn't make sense. I don't care. Like, it's a movie. Just stick him in there. I don't know why.
Yes, thank you.
Like, why do people like?
This is one thing about Marvel, that they do it too much, but DC could do this here just every once in a while. Like, you've already done it with the kind of the extended universe, like the Justice League and stuff, right? Because certain people like Ben Affleck, they're not coming back. Right? Everything doesn't have to make exact sense. When something needs to happen, though, like Joaquin Phoenix and Robert Pattinson together as Batman and Joker, you just figure it out. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't really see like what the big fucking stress is. Are people going to be like, oh, but it doesn't make sense to the Joker timeline? Well, they probably would in this day and age. But I just think it's a fucking movie. Get him in there and just don't care about it. They'll understand. You were making the movies at the same time. You didn't realize how big a deal that Joker was going to be. And so now you think, hey, like, let's marry these universes together because they actually fit each other's tone. I don't get what the big deal is, honestly.
I mean, no. Well, Nerman, they fit, but Matt Reeves' Batman's origin doesn't make sense with Joaquin Phoenix Joker's origin. But you can use the actor as a Joker. You don't. It doesn't have to be the same Joker, but you can use that.
Oh,
actor.
dude,
They can
his
use that.
Batman origin is directly tied to that Joker movie, though. Even in this Batman movie, like Thomas Wayne is running for mayor.
Yeah, but his parents didn't die from the Joker riots in this version. A random thug just killed him.
We don't know how they died, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't say that.
We do know how he died. It wasn't the Joker riots. The Joker riots killed him. The Joker riots is the reason the Waynes died in the Joker movie. They died directly because of Joker. In this origin, a random thug just kills him.
Mm-hmm.
They're not killed by a Joker, one of Joker's followers or whatever in that ending. Carmine Falcone and them say it and stuff. I mean, even Alfred confirmed it. Some random thug killed them all.
We don't know that.
But
we don't know exactly how
like I say, this is the multiverse.
Well,
you can
the
use
Joker follower, not a random thug.
Yeah, right. That's what
I wouldn't call it that random though, because they're following under somebody. I mean a random thug like Joe Chill, like an average run of the mill, criminal. Like Joe Chill, you just random dude on the street. He sees some pearls on some lady's neck. He wants them.
Mm-hmm.
Those Joker riots isn't nothing average. Like everybody putting on clown masks and shit and rioting. They would have talked about that in the movie. They would have talked about that in the movie.
You could have him as a variant of that Joker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I agree. You can do that.
Like he could. Maybe that Joker riot happened later in this universe. Maybe it wasn't the time where Martha and whatever got killed. You just throw him in there.
Maybe he was lying at the end of Joker about the timeline as he was remembering the story.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, but
because he's a fucking insane person.
Yeah, I know. Everything in that movie, he wasn't 100% telling truth. Like him being with Zazie Beetz, but he did kill Murray, and those riots did happen.
Oh,
yeah, sure. But it doesn't have to be.
Those happen for sure.
Exactly.
Oh, no, man, you can share my screen. I found the.
By the way, guys, check the private because this is just a short review. I just want everyone to know I'm not going to be here for that long.
Find the tab.
But yeah, look, I mean, I don't disagree. They could use Joaquin Phoenix, though, like I said, but he does. You can.
Well, I just think you can be creative with it, kid. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't think those riots and stuff necessarily had to have happened, and we know which parts did or didn't, because at the end of that movie, like everything was up into interpretation at that point.
I think that's where they.
I mean, some things are up until interpretation, but I know for sure them riots happened.
How do you know?
So, it's true, but that's right. There's no people care about continuity, not just shared universes.
All in the head, all in his head for sure.
That's a big part of that movie. If he just teleports 30 years, it will take us out of it. I don't know. It would. I mean, wouldn't it take you out of it for a moment, and then you see Robert Pattinson and Joaquin Phoenix each other,
or like Kato
said, get lost in it.
Just have it be a variant, Just have it be a variant.
Like, it can just be a variant. Like I said, there's opportunity. It's a multiverse. It's the multiverse. You can.
And you don't even have to say it's like a variant from another universe. It could just be like, hey, we're just gonna recast Joaquin Phoenix as Joker, but in the current timeline.
Right?
Because he's so good at it.
It's not too late. It's not too late. I mean, because at least he's doing something original.
Yeah, but
they're not going to go.
I mean,
what Joaquin Phoenix did was nothing like Heath Ledger, but it was just as fucking menacing.
I don't want to be Captain Demi Downer in logic, but they literally said that these universes don't connect.
They don't have to.
But then,
yeah, they don't have to.
Yeah, but you can't use something that doesn't connect. Like they don't connect. So it's not gonna work.
What do you mean?
They're none of the Joker year 2 Batman, they have no connection, so you can't just throw somebody in there. And they literally said that they have no relation to each other. So
No, you can. It's because it's a multiverse. The Batman takes place in Earth 2 of the movies and stuff
how do
with
we know
Stargirl.
that?
Because they said it in the Crisis event. And even Matt Reeves said it. Matt Reeves said it like 2 years ago that this is in Earth 2.
He just said that this is year 2 Batman, not Earth 2.
No, I'm saying Earth 2. This is on Earth 2. He's literally on the same Earth with Stargirl.
It's not Earth 2, bro. Come on, man. He did not say that.
Well, besides, I don't see Joaquin Joker being competent.
It doesn't have to
or
connect. You
intelligent
use the
to go
same
against
actors
Batman.
in different stuff.
He really seemed too mentally ill to do proper Joker stuff. I really don't.
I just don't see it like.
Fair enough.
I don't.
He was doing Joker stuff at the end of the movie, though. He was literally doing Joker stuff at the end of Joker.
Yeah. What was the picture you just showed? Arkham game. The Arkham game. Right.
I was saying that was where they got. I would because if you look at that, his face is kind of like look like the hair, the way the blotches you can see on it, and like kind of. When I first saw this scene, I thought of the Arkham look that they went. I thought they got a little bit of inspiration from Arkham game. That's why.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it was. I thought he was terrible when I saw the Batman.
Yeah. The only bad thing about this scene is that it ruins the mystery. It ruins the detective story in this movie.
It couldn't have worked.
So taking out this scene was good because it doesn't ruin the story. Because basically, Joker spoils the story for Batman. So I'm glad they took it out.
Hey, I mean, look, you could have Joker as like a little bit of a sympathetic villain for once. I mean, I know he's not supposed to be in whatever, but in this Matt Reeves universe, you could kind of deconstruct it a bit and use Joaquin Phoenix as that. I don't know. You could be creative.
Man, ain't nobody finna feel bad for this crusty finger Joker. He got no fingernails. He's crusty.
He's crusty, bro. He's like Krusty the Clown, bro. He's that crusty. All right. I can just imagine the chaos that Joaquin would cause in the Patterson movie. Yeah, I think so as well. It's like, and he has he had a whole city of goons at his disposal at one point. That would have been interesting to go up against him. Joker Pickle said about Nicholson on a stream, and I was dying of laughter. I don't know what that.
Yeah, this dude, and I say Joaquin Phoenix, that dude Joker, bro. He inspired a whole town of people, all the poor and middle class people. Well, majority of them to assemble and rally behind him. They literally took out that cop car just to pull Joker out, put him on the car, and pray to their God, Joker, their savior. That is some Joker shit, bro.
DC is free on like Joker's corner being gangly and anorexic looking is a classic characteristic of Joker. It's a reason that he can't physically fight Batman. Nicholson was an overweight Joker. I don't really think the Joker's size really matters. I think it just depends on who the.
It just depends how conniving and sinister he is.
I mean, all I will say is that
see that as a big deal.
I think the scene was okay. My thing is that they just need to explore. I think with the rogues that most DC characters have, in my opinion, as much as I like Marvel, I think DC has better rogues for their heroes, like across their characters. Just explore these characters. You can get really good actors for like you said, Scarecrow, Two-Face, Clayface. Clayface would have been awesome in a Batman movie. Poison Ivy.
I don't think Clayface can work in this universe. I'm gonna be real.
Well, I mean, no, I'm not saying
Clayface can work. All these villains can work.
All these villains can work. I mean, I mean, you can,
Not without taking everything away from him that makes him Clayface, and that will annoy people. It will probably be
No, you
somebody with
don't,
like a fucked up
because
face or something.
this is the
Because he's
thing
got
that keeps the
powers.
movie
He's got
going.
superpowers, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
So you want
it
to
can still work. It can still work though.
okay, well, if you could still do Two-Face, you could still do Scarecrow, you could do Black Mask, you could do
I'm trying to think of Batman villain. I'd like to see Poison Ivy. That would be cool.
yeah,
Like as a
Poison.
eco-terrorist kind of thing. That could be a cool thing to do.
You could do Mr. Freeze. That's actually doable. I mean, that's
I
not.
definitely want Mr. Freeze. Definitely.
I just
That
think
goes without saying.
I just stop using like I like the Joker. I'm not. I'd be an idiot to say the Joker is a terrible villain. No, but come on, man. It's not only Joker that the whole world knows about Batman's villains.
So are you saying you wouldn't want him even in the whole trilogy, the Joker, or like
not
want him
just
in the third
now.
movie?
Like
I don't want him in the second, but I wouldn't mind him facing off against Joker in the third movie, like the big final boss is Joker.
I would be happy if if they did a trilogy, like the next two movies don't have Joker, and then they have it for the next trilogy, because it's just like, come on, man. There's just so many villains and so
villains
that you can use or team up, or it's just like that's how I feel.
Who was each person's favorite villain from Batman the Animated Series? Just out of curiosity, before I go, I have to go now. By the way, guys, it's my girlfriend's birthday. But who was everyone's favorite villain that they always
Mr.
had a dream
Freeze.
of seeing?
Oh, Mr. Freeze.
in real
Yeah,
life?
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze for me.
So everybody
I
says
always
Mr.
love-
Freeze.
I always loved the ventriloquist episodes. I always thought, I know you can't do it, especially in these dark, grounded, versions. Maybe you could have done it in the Burton universe, possibly.
Oh, actually, Clock King.
But I loved ventriloquist. I thought he was so fucking good. Like the guy, Scarface and Dummy.
I would say
Nobody knows the ventriloquist. Okay, thanks.
yes, I know what the ventriloquist is. I was just gonna say
You're just ignoring me. Thank you.
no. I know who he is. They don't want to answer. I was just gonna say I would have loved to see Clock King, because he was also my favorite in the animated series.
I remember Clock King. It was interesting, that one he did.
I quite liked
Episode.
Bane. Bane was my second
Bane
favorite.
was nice. Bane was nice, but I didn't. He was just Batman, but bigger and smarter. I never really vibed with it. I like the crazy ones. Like, I would like to see them try and tackle Mad Hatter, but it might be a bit silly.
I think if you do ventriloquist, you need he's a supporting villain. He's not like the main.
Yeah. But I just don't think, like, a bunch of gangsters literally following a little puppet, it just doesn't work in live action. Do you know what I mean? It's silly.
I mean,
When you spell it out like that,
I mean, you have a villain named Black Mask, and people are afraid of him, so I can see it working.
Yeah, but Black Mask, that's different. That's terrifying. Someone wearing a fucking literal weird black mask. I mean, gangsters wouldn't follow someone dressed in a clown suit, right? Gangsters wouldn't follow somebody who's got a question mark.
But you're contradicting
leotard or
yourself.
whatever.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Remember, Riddler had 500 followers, and they all dressed up and went to the end and followed him.
No, but I'm talking about in the comics. Do you know what I mean? When the goons are following the Riddler, and it's just like you're not going to follow. So in a way, like, none of them really work. I mean, maybe the Penguin works in a realistic world. But, someone who's just weird and looks like a fucking penguin, maybe they would follow. But it's
I think it can work.
I think taking a puppet is just going one step too far.
No, I think
of disbelief.
if they do it right,
I love it as a character.
if they do it right, he just would be a supporting or a minor. You could do it. I just think it's just not a main role. It's a minor
Yeah.
role, and then build it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, I've always had in my head Joe Pesci as the puppet. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like you get an actor. Why? What's wrong? What's wrong with Joe Pesci as the puppet?
Hey, Joe Pesci would be a good penguin, bro.
No,
Hey,
not
so
as
I had
the
a question to
penguin.
ask you, Nerdman.
Not
I had
as
a
the
quick question.
penguin, as the puppet. In the ventriloquist, there's dummy, right? And then there's the ventriloquist, and then there's the puppet, right? So I would
Okay,
see
I wouldn't do that,
Scarface
Nerdman.
Why? For Joe
I'm done.
Pesci, what's wrong with Joe
Not
Pesci?
not
Fine,
him.
I don't care.
Joe Pesci. I like Joe Pesci, not for that. Sorry, but
What are you talking about? Am I just speaking and everyone's like, really? All right, go on. What are you saying?
No, that doesn't work. You're delusional.
yeah. But no, I had a quick question to ask you. Out of what you saw from this Joker, which one do you like more? This Joker with Barry Keoghan or Cesar Romero's?
Oh, this Joker with Barry Keoghan. Cesar Romero was horrible. No, I'm not.
You hated him, really? Because a lot of people like him on here.
I don't hate him actually. I hate Adam West more than him as Batman. I thought his Joker was pretty stupid though. I like the fact that the guy was so boss that he just refused to shave his mustache. That's about it. Because that is psychotic. If you're gonna paint your face white and do like red like lipstick and shit like that, and you just don't even take your mustache off, that's scary. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's in such a serene mood this morning. I'm like, fucking hell. Give me some passion.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
hey,
Hey, I'm gonna be honest. I started zoning out when Warren was talking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyway, so what were you gonna say, Warren, before we go? Just one last thing. Go.
I can't wait for the next casting for the next Batman movie. That's it.
The next Joker casting that everyone's upset with. I'm not upset with this. I really am not. I just, it's just unexciting. I don't think he's doing anything as unique or original as like Paul Dano or who's the guy who played the Riddler, Colin Farrell.
Oh, you mean Penguin?
Yeah, the Colin Farrell. I think even the chick did well, who was playing Selena Kyle. They all managed to find their own way to do those characters who've all been done in very kind of iconic ways before.
But just to be fair, though, they've had more screen time, though.
No, but you can see what he's doing with his voice. He has to change that voice. He has to find a new Joker voice. I'm sorry, you can't just fucking rip off fucking Heath Ledger. You can't do that. That's bullshit.
So you want Jared Leto?
No, just find your own Joker voice. Think about the Joker. Think about what he means to you, and find your own fucking voice. Because think about this: when people go and watch a movie with him, right, and he could do the best performance ever, but he's doing that Heath Ledger voice, everybody is just going to go, "Oh, he's just doing fucking Heath Ledger." Matt Reeves just did Heath Ledger, but can you not see that coming?
I mean,
even if it's the best fucking thing ever. I mean, if he's doing that voice, people are just going to come say, "Why is he doing fucking Heath Ledger's voice?" Like, get your own stuff.
I mean, no matter what, this is what I mentioned earlier. There's always gonna be someone that's gonna go through their archives and be like, "Yep, that's Heath Ledger." It's like, well, the actor is using their method of performing. So who's to say what he's doing is wrong? Like, I can't like force the guy to do it, or you know what I mean? It's like that's his take. So if that's how he feels and he wants to use a bit of Heath, who are we to say you got to change it, bro?
True. No. I mean, good for him. I just hope he doesn't get crucified for it because in other ways, he's doing a good job. I like the smile a lot at the end. That smile was really creepy at the end. But I just think they need to think about this. I would have gone with a prep, like not a preppy, but like more like American Psycho Joker or something. Like just something completely different than what we've
And
seen
with that,
before.
I'm going to get boost. So okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna bust a bust as well. Doing Scarecrow would also give an opportunity for more horror-inspired visuals, which I think Reeves would really pull off well. That's a good point. Just before we go, Pickle, you couldn't get me if you were a Segway with a 25-foot pole. I don't know what that's about. I must have gone insane. I'm agreeing with Nerd Man and a lot of things. And you're insane, Joker. I hate his smile. He has a puny baby teeth. All right, I think with that, please like, subscribe, comment. I
Wait,
love the
real quick,
comments.
Nerdman. I gotta say this. Barry Keoghan, he got them. He got them. He got those dope fiend teeth.
Okay.
This guy's been taking a lot of that swag, put it that way. You can tell. But yeah, do
No Harley
comment.
Quinn will fix that.
Yeah. What? Oh, that would be an interesting thing. By the way, I was thinking about that the other day to have Harley Quinn and him as like, like a couple serial killers. Like the Ken and Barbie killers, or something like that. Like they're actually like a couple and they're doing it together. Like, and they're both fucking psychotic. It'd be something a little bit different than just, I don't know. Anyway, so yes, put comment. I love the comments and I do respond to the comments. But apart from that, thanks everybody on the panel. Thanks everybody who is been commenting as per usual. You've made my videos very fun and I thank you very much. So apart from that, I'm gonna see you on the flip side. Love you 3000. Peace.
See ya.